What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another segment of HR Heretics. Kelly, we are going to talk about Windsurf and Cognition again because there's been an interesting update on X from employee number 2. So let me just read this to everybody because it's worth the full 45 seconds. So this guy's name is Prem, and he said, I've joined Cognition to continue to work on the future of software engineering. I was employee number 2 at Windsurf and have worked on AI code for years. There's never been a more exciting time and place for it now at Cognition. I had a place at Google DeepMind as part of the deal. I won't go into detail for legal reasons, but I'd like to be transparent about my personal situation. I was given an offer that would explode same day. I had to forfeit all of my vested shares earned over my 3.5 years at Windsurf. I was ultimately given a payout of only 1% of what my shares would have been worth at the time of the deal. In going to Cognition, I've chosen a different direction. For someone who loves software engineering, Cognition feels like home. It reminds me of the energy of the earliest days of Windsurf, where we wrote excessive amounts of code and had excessive amounts of fun. Really excited to see how we can take the best of Devin and Windsurf to make the world's best IDE and coding agents. So just to break this down for people, right, what it sounds like he's saying, the interesting piece, right, is that it's another example of somebody who is not going to get paid out on their equity, except the unique aspect of this case is this person had an opportunity to go to DeepMind. So we were all operating under the impression that those who went to DeepMind at Google were going to get paid out in full, versus those that had to go to Cognition were going to get dicked over. Kelly, there's probably not a better person in the world to talk to about this than you, given that you have actually had direct experience with Google in the Looker acquisition. So educate us on how this could be.
Let me just, because the audience might have this question. You said this person had an exploding offer and they took it, they accepted it.
No, they declined it.
Okay. They declined it.
So there's a fork here, okay? So the choice was, here's this offer, which he is saying, like, let's be clear about what this offer is. So this is the offer to join DeepMind.
Yes.
And the details of this offer, according to him, are forfeiture of all vested shares over 3.5 years and a payout of only 1% of what the shares would have been worth at the time of the deal.
Got it.
That's option 1. Wow. Option 2, with the other fork, is join Cognition, right? Which is they came in and swooped in and saved the day. Yep. But we don't know what the details are of that comp package.
Right. And going back to option 1, which is Google, we also don't know the details of any additional RSUs he would have gotten at Google.
Correct. Yeah.
My assumption would be like, hey, Prem, you're going to come into Google. We're going to forfeit all these options, replace them with Google shares or offer you Google shares and pay you out 1% based on the previous value.
Yep.
Got it. I love his choice, by the way.
Okay.
I would love to ask him questions, right? Did they the right thing to do if you're going to forfeit and take away his vested shares is to have them be able to get re-earned, if that makes sense.
I'm sure that's what they did.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, that stuff happens all the time.
Educate us, because you have been in these conversations. You've been doing it with Google. Well, what do you mean, Kelly? So I'm Prem. I earned my shit. I worked for 3.5 years, right? Google bought this fucking company. Pay me my money on my equity. Why is that not true?
Yeah. They want to make you re-earn it in order to retain you, as well as reap the benefits of what the deal is supposed to do, which is, right, XXX revenue or value or whatever that is. And this is why people now are like, you got to ask for single trigger, not even double trigger, ask for single trigger. In reality, Nolan, it really doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Because whatever is on paper can get put into a shredder, flushed down the toilet, and repapered. because what matters is the negotiation and what those two sides agree to. And so now I go back to what matters is we just talked about this with our last segment. What matters is the values and the trust and the ability that those leaders that you're joining that company, that you trust that they are going to do the right thing, that they are going to look out for you and take care of you. That's what you need to trust. And we did go through it with Looker. And I will tell you, stuff got reaped back, right? Things got reset. And there were a lot of sacrifices that those leaders made to get that deal through. It's great for the employees, but that stuff happens a lot. And I guess my takeaway is like, Google didn't do that. Those leaders agreed to it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like the Windsurf leaders agreed to that.
Well, so yeah, let's be clear. Like, let me just highlight just a couple of the points that you said so people really grok this thing.
Yeah.
So thing one is like, there is no such thing anymore as protections, right? Like every single one of these deals that you have on the way in, even if you're an exec, you have single trigger, you have double trigger, go look it up if you don't know what it means. But what Kelly's saying is it doesn't fucking matter. And it doesn't fucking matter because when the M&A team from Big Co sits down with the CFO from your company, M&A team from Big Co says like, I don't really care about this shit. We need this person to stay.
Yes.
Otherwise the valuation changes and, like the deal terms change. And so, yes, Windsurf could have taken likely less money, right, to get some of these things included in the deal. But this is the horse trading that happens behind the scenes that people don't see. And historically, in Silicon Valley, there's been like, in baseball, we call it unwritten rules, right? To where it's like, if the founder's going to be a billionaire as part of the fucking deal, then the employee's got to get paid too, homie. And, and in this deal, essentially with what we know today, what appears to be happening is that the founder and the VCs got $2 billion. And the employees who joined DeepMind got an opportunity to earn their money again by continuing to still work at DeepMind, which we know as golden handcuffs. I mean, some would call it like modern prison.
All that matters is the negotiation of those parties, and if you trust your leadership to look out for you, because anything in your offer is a whiteboard when that stuff starts. And I can't say too much about it, but that's why it took us a long time. We were behind those doors for a while.
Yeah.
Because Big Co's not going to be like, here, let's do all this stuff.
Yeah. Like, who cares if these people walk away? Like, it's part of how they keep the business together with business continuity.
Hey, everyone. We'll be right back in a moment after a word from our sponsors. Your workforce is your organization's greatest strength and often its largest single expense. But without the right tools, understanding where your workforce spend is going or how it impacts your bottom line can be a challenge. That's where Planful comes in. With Planful, HR and finance teams get the clarity they need to make smarter workforce decisions, gain real-time visibility into workforce fluctuations, forecast with confidence, and adjust talent acquisition plans collaboratively based on costs today and into the future. No more guesswork, just data-driven insights to help you plan with accuracy. And the best part, Planful is fast and easy to implement, so you can be up and running in weeks, not months, with minimal IT support. Plus, as your company grows, Planful grows with you, providing endless runway for strategic workforce planning at any scale. Ready to take your workforce planning to the next level? Join over 1,500 organizations already using Planful. Visit planful.com/heretics to learn more.
I must admit, I used to believe that AI didn't actually exist in recruiting or HR. That is until my friend Heather Doche, who leads talent at Signalfire, told me to check out Metaview. I got into the product and was like, wow, AI actually does exist in recruiting, and this product is sick. Metaview is the world's #1 AI scribe built specifically for recruiting. Their AI records and transcribes hiring conversations, like intakes, interviews, and debriefs, then provides perfectly summarized notes of everything that was discussed. I've seen firsthand how tough it can be to extract consistently high-quality data from candidate conversations. I've been in debriefs where interviewers told us about their feelings instead of what actually happened in the interview. And I've seen VPs and CEOs block hires because they didn't learn anything from skeleton scorecards. Metaview changes everything. With perfect notes from every conversation, your people can focus on creating a human connection with candidates, and they can save time on the busy work of cleaning up notes after every interview. But it's so much more than just a time saver, because perfect notes means perfect data. For every candidate and every pipeline, hiring teams can make confident, informed decisions, and talent leaders can finally take control of the interview process. Metaview covers all your compliance needs, works with all your existing tools, and takes less than 3 minutes to set up. Join talent leaders at organizations like Brex, Deel, HelloFresh, and Quora, and check out Metaview. Head over to metaview.ai/heretics to talk to one of Metaview's product experts. Tell them that me and Kelly sent you. Or you could just go to their website and get started for free. You'll be up, running, and AI-enabled in minutes.
You know what's so funny about that is the accent on all the dollars and the golden handcuffs and all these, we're going to take away all your shares and you'll re-earn them back so you can stay. Do you know why people ultimately stayed so long with Looker? Is because the leaders went and the people that they trusted and worked with went. And,
Yeah.
for a long time, Google did respect that and let them do that. I guess what I'm trying to say is the cultural stuff hangs together people more than any bullshit money thing. And that in itself is what made that acquisition successful and that revenue 3x. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone was doing their little calculations at 2 years and the money and this or that. But the real reason they were there was for those people. And it's just damn, there's just not enough focus on that when this horse trading stuff happens. The best companies will make sure, because those founders and those leaders know that those people that are coming are going to make their freaking deal successful.
Yeah. So Kelly, the thing here, we talk about first principles thinking a lot, and I think some people throw up when they hear that because it's overused. This is actually first principles thinking. Just to take the other side of Google, which is okay, so historically we've always paid out the team. We make sure that these things are fair, that if the New York Times got a hold of the deal terms, that we could justify why we did these things. And essentially what M&A team at Big Co is now saying is fuck that. Why do we do that? Let's just try it a different way. Because, who knows? These people still want to be rich at the end of the day. So, we're going to be able to keep them. The thing that they got really wrong here is this era of transparency is lighting the people on fire who are the most hypocritical and who are the biggest winners, right? So the biggest winners here are the VCs and the founder. And the assumption is that the VCs and the founder are going to get paid every last dollar. And the other assumption is that they're going to make these employees wait or get screwed over or get a retraded deal. I mean, him saying that he had an exploding offer of 1 day is so fucked up. And I actually if I said the other day on LinkedIn, if Zuck gives me a $200 million offer to come be an AI researcher and he says you have until the end of the day to decide, cool. That's out of the blue. He's allowed to do that. This is it's different. This is violating so many of our social norms that we have in venture capital. And that's what feels yucky to me. The other thing I'll add is clearly to me, my translation here is this guy's suing, which he should. But Gary Tan, who's the CEO of Y Combinator, jumped into the comments and everyone else is kind of like taking employee number 2 side. Gary jumps in and he goes, sounds like a tweet that cost $20 million. Like saying, hey kid, shut the fuck up. Like you're, basically like get back in line, you peasant. And I thought it was like one of the most tone deaf comments. Like I think Gary's like a really smart guy and generally like very in touch with like the social vibe. You could just feel it right now with this power structure thing. It just feels like the power, it's always been there, but they're wielding it in a different way.
It feels kind of panicky to me. Like it feels a little out of control and like survival mode and like, we're just going to do this. It just feels a little chaotic out there with all this stuff. And, you said it, earlier, transparency and trust is something that is going to sustain through all this. And that's not something AI can build for you like yet. So I just want to leave it. We talk about this all the time for the last 2 years. Let's just pretend in 2 years, I'm out in the market and I'm like, hey, who are the best leaders? I want to go be a CPO again. What's going on? And that Windsurf founder is like, hey, come over here and join this company. Do you think I'm going to go? Ain't no trigger is going to protect you from that shit.
Yeah, so. But I mean, probably the calculus in his brain, Kelly, was like, I just made $2 billion, like, or $1 billion, whatever the fuck it was. It's like, I'm done, and my family's done forever.
I get that, but again, the responsibility and the like, come on. So.
I'm with you. I just feel like the only power that we have right now, the rest of us who aren't these like, founders who are, making out like bandits, is the power of social media and transparency and lighting their reputations on fire.
Yeah. And then ultimately we have the power, you have the power of choice, right?
Once you know those things. Yeah. Once you know those things, but man, I will say like we are in such a unique era right now.
Yeah.
And thank God for social media. Like, and I don't think I've ever said that before, but like in this case, like thank God for social media to where we can actually see what these people are doing and call out their bullshit, because that's what it is.
It's just like I said, it feels very chaotic. It feels somewhat panicky in some respects through this competitive landscape. And that's what it feels like. Game of Thrones is what it feels like with this stuff. So we'll see what happens when the dust starts settling.
We'll see what happens. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace, homies. HR Heretics is a podcast from Turpentine, the network behind Econ 102, Moment of Zen, and Turpentine VC. Subscribe, 5 stars, share it on Apple, YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasts, all the things.